All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. This week we're going to talk about Luke List's playoff win at the Farmers Insurance, but more importantly, Will Zalatoris's loss, I guess we can say, after an interesting putting performance this weekend. And we're going to preview the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am with some bets. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
Let's get inside the ropes. Let's dissect what happened here with Luke List. We won a playoff at the Farmers Insurance at Torrey Pines, not Pebble Beach, and so he finished like what 2.5 hours before everybody else. He was sitting at 15 under at the 15 under number, and Will Zalatoris had all the time in the world, all the holes in the world to surpass that, but couldn't. More notably, 18, that putting stroke. I mean, you can probably maybe put a clip in it here, or I'm sure people saw it. It did not look pretty.
Yeah. So if you're sitting there as Luke List, you're in at, what was the score? Like 15 under?
15.
Yeah. You're in at 15 under. There
About 66 on the day.
Yeah. 66 on the day there. I think there is 9 guys on the golf course that are 14 under or 15 under. So, you're like, okay, 15 under, clubhouse lead, great, probably not going to hold, right? And then what do you do? What's next? What do I mean, your family's there. You probably go for family, maybe grab a bite, and then all of a sudden,
honey, I probably just won, a couple $100K for us.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the hosts keep going by, and no one's eclipsing the 15 under mark, and then you kind of have to scramble, go out to the putting green, work on the putting, go out to the range, hit some shots, and I mean, 2.5 hours is a long time to wait.
I would say there's only so much you can do in that time, and like you said, he finished the 15 under like 2.5 hours before everyone else. Jason Day holes out on 14 or 15. And you're thinking, oh, he's gonna make birdie on at least 18 to win the tournament, and he kind of collapses, and Rahm doesn't convert on his final hole of the tournament, which I was that close to a three-way playoff if Rahm had made one of those putts or Jason Day didn't collapse. But and then Zalatoris made like 10 straight pars to end the round. Like then just didn't even, and none of his putts were really even that close for birdie anyway, either. So except for the last one, obviously.
Yeah, that was cool how just like at the end, like weirdly just took a hard left.
But it wasn't even really a great, like he barely even got it to the hole at all. He just dribbled past the hole. Putt to win the golf tournament. Like you got to have a little bit more conviction with it.
Feet?
I think less than that. I think like 6 feet.
I think it was less.
6 feet, maybe 5 feet, 6 feet. Like we were talking about this before the podcast, but like from that angle, you can see like him bringing his putter back, and it kind of is like slanted, and then he brings it forward, and it's almost like a figure eight or like a horseshoe.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah, and I was just like wondering. I wonder what my putting stroke looks like from that angle, because it really cannot be that good.
But that's the thing, that like with that putter like that, like my putter is kind of like more of a mallet. Like Pat has some kind of mallet putter. Like you're supposed to bring it like straight back, straight through, and that's a big mallet putter with the long grip and like he's doing the arm lock. Which
he does the arm lock, and it's still like that.
Yeah, it's still like I don't know how you do the arm lock, and it's not straight back, straight through. Maybe I could be completely wrong in what I'm talking about, but
he does have a longer putter,
yeah. But like his stroke, everything about it is just, it's hard to watch. And if he could putt even remotely close to like the field average, he would have won, no question about it at all.
Yeah, so if you get into the numbers, he was first last week, strokes gained tee to green, which I am pretty obvious. He was just ball striking the ball so well, and he's such a good ball striker. And he was 64th in the field, strokes gained putting, and I'm pretty sure that like 1 through
It is.
64 is just people who made the cut. So that's like almost dead last, and from people who made the cut in strokes gained putting.
Yeah.
That is tough. Now, before we get into a little bit more, farmers insurance, Wednesday through Saturday. How would you think about some of the golf tournaments during the year, during football season in particular, being Wednesday through Saturday? Or do you think that it wouldn't even help because college football is also on Saturday?
I think it's awesome.
I think it would help a little bit.
I think it would help at least just a little bit, because I think if you're so many more people watch the NFL than college football just in general.
Yes, but I feel like maybe, okay, I'm just thinking through this.
Mhm.
A lot of people that watch the PGA Tour are from the South. I don't know that. And a lot of people from the South watch
fair.
college football over NFL. I also don't know that. But
See, no, I don't think it works network wise, because obviously CBS was televising this week, and CBS is like usually televise on CBS on weekends. SEC football is usually like the 4 o'clock game on Saturday.
True.
Yeah, they
I liked it though. Saturday night finish, just having a few beers.
No, Saturday night finish was awesome. Like it, and it definitely, I think it definitely, at least they could definitely do it for at least the first couple events of like the 20 after college football is over, and say, okay, well, let's do the, maybe not Kapalua, but like maybe like, or maybe even Kapalua, like Kapalua through, I don't know, Riviera, or maybe have Riviera be the first Sunday tournament. Like just have like until the Super Bowl is done, just have the Saturday finishes. I know Waste Management does it and finishes it before Super Bowl starts, but just have like the Saturday finishes make it great, and more people would watch it, especially in January and February, because there is no college football. And college people are just starting to get into college basketball. Obviously not as nearly as many people watch that.
It doesn't
But
need to be a long
No.
stretch of tournaments, but just,
No, it
a
does.
few
Couple.
maybe.
I mean, we'll get into the numbers later and like maybe some of the reasons why they don't do that. But I do want to go back to Luke List for a second, because we didn't even mention first win on the PGA Tour at the age of 37.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
celebration
waited a
was awesome.
while. Yeah, that was.
I know he's 37.
I would have thought he was
I knew
younger.
he was in his 30s for sure, but
Yeah.
37, wow.
He's always been a really good driver of the golf ball, always kind of in the top 10 of driving distance, and pretty accurate as well. But he's never been a good putter, and I've kind of let him down. And like, I don't want to like speak about bad putters this week, where Will Zalatoris so far hasn't shown that he could putt the ball that well. But I mean, he finally gets a win on the PGA Tour this year at the age of 37. I mean, he's played in a lot of events, and I mean, I think his last win came on the Corn Ferry Tour last year. I think he might have won at Sawgrass, the Corn Ferry event there. But yeah, first win at the age of 37. And
$1,512,000.
Could go a long way.
Wow.
Well, that's like like you said, Jake, he didn't putt well at all either. Like the whole final round, he didn't. What, he 3-putted 15 for Bear. I don't know if it was a total actual like designated as a 3-putt, because I think he was just off the green on 13. But he basically 3-putted 13. But like, credit for him, the putt on 18. One, the approach shot on 18 regulation out of the rough, and to have it go off a slope into like 5-6 feet, and then make that putt down the hill, like sliding. That was a great putt. And obviously the shot in the playoff was even better.
That was a ridiculous shot.
Yeah, that was, and you knew as soon as it landed, you're like, oh, that could be really good. And like that might even go in. And it was also, I also thought it was crazy how their balls ended up were like that far apart in the bunker.
That was crazy.
Like why didn't all places?
And why didn't was it Zalatoris? Why didn't he mark the ball? He should have just marked it, because
I don't know.
Then they were just like messing around with the like lie and stuff.
They were literally talking to the broadcast. They're like literally talking about the broadcast how he literally could have picked up, like marked his ball, picked it up, and placed it in the exact same lie as he had before. And like the caddy was raking it so carefully, trying
Dude,
to.
I was screaming at the TV. I was like, dude,
Just mark
don't.
it. Like you can like he could literally have picked it up and marked and moved it and put it like back in a decent lie after raking it. Like that's it. It was mad. It was kind of crazy to watch. I mean, it wouldn't have really affected the, like, it's not like he had a bad lie after Luke List hit his shot, but it ended up in the same exact spot.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
ended up being a little bit closer.
it wouldn't have affected his
It
shot.
didn't end up affecting anything.
No, it wouldn't have. But it was, if it did, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened, or if there had been more of like a rules controversy, I guess.
Yeah, and then just going back to Lucas and his putting, he was actually 8th in the field this week with strokes gained putting, so maybe figure something out. I mean, he has a couple top 20s this season. I think he's 160th in like strokes gained putting on the season, but he was 8th this week in the field.
Yeah,
so I mean, if he figures out if he figured out the putter, like he might start finishing. He might start finishing near the top of the leaderboard, or at least in the top 20, like relatively consistently.
He only has one other tournament this year where he finished positive strokes gained putting, and that was the RSM. He finished 0.01 positive strokes gained putting. And then last year, majority of his tournaments, besides like 6 or 7, were negative strokes gained putting.
Yeah, so Luke List is my big long shot guy. Whenever I see a long shot, I like to pick him.
You always love to throw Luke List in there, whether it was back when we did like DFS and we would throw Luke List in or something. But yeah, you definitely have always liked him.
Yeah, it's because the driving distance, and if like he just has like a somewhat normal putting week, he'll probably play somewhat well. He'll finish in the top 40 or the top 20.
I mean, it's with a lot of guys. It's with Zalatoris as well. It's with Corey Connors, guys like that, that like are excellent ball strikers and just haven't really been able to put the putter together. So more Zalatoris news just to pile on. Tested positive for COVID and he's not playing this week.
Yeah, when it's going bad, it's going bad.
Tough time to be Will Zalatoris, except I don't feel bad for him because he just won $915,000.
I was gonna say he's won a shit ton of money, so I'm not really.
$915,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
He'll be okay. And it's not like he's never gonna win. Like he's not even close to Finau territory or anything like that. He's gonna win eventually.
I don't love that. That take though, when people say that, it's like, oh, you just want a ton of money. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, it's still his life. Like that sucks that happened.
Yeah, I mean,
like he still wants to win.
I mean, let's talk about one more guy before we get into winners and losers. Jason Day had a good week. I mean, obviously he plays really well at that golf course and at the golf course coming up this week. Always great to see him play well, and I think he's getting closer to being back. I don't think his back's really bothering him as much as it did in previous years, and maybe he could get a somewhat consistent run now.
I wanted to say, I feel like Jason Day is having a very similar resurgence this year as Jordan Spieth did last year. Is he on that track? Maybe it picks up this week, picks up at the Waste Management. I don't know. This is a very similar path to what Jordan was doing last year when he was, making his resurgence on tour.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time Jason Day has looked this healthy? Like it's been years since he's looked pretty healthy. I mean, a lot of fingers crossed.
When you've seen Jason Day, knock on wood, Jesus Christ. A lot of time when you see Jason Day over the past couple of years, you've seen like the back like pain, like the winces and the stuff like that. And you're right, I honestly haven't noticed it because we've seen like a lot of Jason Day recently. I feel like way more.
Do you want to guess what his world golf ranking was before last week?
Was he
141?
Yeah,
141.
I'll give it like 108.
129. So
and
still
the difference.
I mean, that's.
And now what is he?
Now he's like 70 something.
That's crazy that just like
80, 83.
Doing well in one tournament can like do that for you.
Yeah, and he I mean, after he holed out on 14, like I've loved Jason Day for a long time. I was so like when he was crying, I still remember to this day like him crying after he won the PGA at Whistling Straits. That was awesome. But after he holed out that shot in 14, I was like, okay, he's gonna win. Like
Would
he's
you
gonna.
say
Go ahead.
would you say your top two guys are Jason Day and Rory?
Yeah. Oh no, and Xander's right
Xander's
there
one of
too.
his guys.
Yeah, but he's not like actually your boy. It's more of like like you
No,
like him, but like
I love, but I've picked him so much on this, and I'm just
Yeah.
assuming he's gonna win at some point. I've just come accustomed to cheering for him for past like 2 years, I guess. But no,
I'm not
Jason,
a Xander guy. I'm just not much of a like.
he's not for everyone because he doesn't win. So he'll
Fair
get
enough.
back there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really happy for Jason Day. I like you said, I would hope he's having like a I would hope he's having a Jordan Spieth like resurgence. We said Ricky Fowler might be having that this year, and maybe you got the wrong guy. We chose the wrong guy for that.
I mean, look out for Jason Day this week, especially.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, I think. But I mean, just
Also,
you never know.
with Jason, how old do you think Jason Day is?
36.
I think he's
Greg?
34.
He's
No.
34 years old.
Yeah.
And Phil didn't win his first major until he was like 32. So
Yeah, we keep throwing that stat
that's
out
the
there.
that's the whole like Rory thing too. But like and I guess he's had like his like peak, and then he's fallen off a little
When's
bit.
Rory
but
coming back?
I don't know. He's Rory coming into the Travelers today, by the way.
Love it.
Did he play in that last year? I don't remember.
No, I don't think.
I remember.
Has he been playing in Europe? Has he been?
Yes.
Yeah, so he'll
he
be
was
back
he was
soon.
at the DP World Tour this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason Day, he's still 34. Maybe he makes a little bit of a resurgence, but all he needs to do is stay healthy. I think he'll be fine. He's lost weight too, which I think has helped him, it looks like.
Yeah. So on that note, let's move into some winners and losers.
Yeah, so winners and losers. The first winner, I mean, we talked about him before, Luke List. I mean, he had played 205 PGA Tour events before picking up his first win on Saturday. This is his third top 10 finish of 2022. So maybe, he's figured something out along the lines of putting and stuff like that. And what I thought was really cool is he gets to return to the Masters for the first time, and for the second time, but his first time as a pro. The last time he was in the Masters, he was the runner-up amateur in 2005, which means has been 17 years since he has played in the Masters, and that's the longest since 1960, behind Bruce Fleischer, who waited 23 years. So 17 years between Masters starts for Luke List.
If you would have told me Luke List hasn't played in 7, if you'd have said what's Luke List's best Masters finish ever, I would have been like, oh, he probably finished like top 10 once or twice, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was
he's just never played.
T31 as an amateur.
Wow, he's just never played in the Masters. So, I mean, you can't putt though, which is going to be a problem with Ed Augusta. But
yeah, but I mean, that is still an insane stat that he has not played in the Masters in 17 years, and this is his first time as a pro at the age of 37. So
good for him though. Yeah, like I said, the celebration off the green was fantastic. People are ripping him for not going over to Zalatoris, which like you got like he obviously was going to, like, he's just like, his family's right there. Like you're not gonna go crazy and hug your family for a life-changing event. Not worth the fret over.
Yeah, and then speaking of our first loser, I mean, we talked about this earlier, but Will Zalatoris' putter. I mean, for much of the tournament, it kind of looked like no one was going to stop him from taking home his first win, except for maybe himself. And like when you see guys like Tiger Woods, Jon Rahm, Jordan Spieth, if they're standing over like a 6-foot putt to win a tournament, like I feel like in your brain, you're like, oh yeah, he's going to make that. Like you can't really picture them really missing the putt. But when Will Zalatoris is standing over a 6-foot putt to win a tournament, like the first thing that came across my mind at least was he's going to miss this putt. Yeah, so I mean that's something he's got to work on, and
the putt he had to tie it on the playoff is like I didn't honestly have much confidence.
That wasn't close.
Exactly.
That one,
from the start, you know he yanked that.
But I mean, like he knows what the formula is to win on the PGA Tour. I mean, he just has to keep doing what he's doing as far as tee to green, and then he needs to get like a little bit better on the greens, and then you know, he might start racking up wins. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what his philosophy is, I guess, but like I would go away from the arm lock and the long putter. I don't know. He's almost more comfortable from like 10 to 15 feet than he is 3, 4, 5 feet, which is, I mean, like yippee almost. Don't
Yeah,
want to say the Y
same.
word, but
I'm also more comfortable from 10 to 15 feet, but
it's scary though.
yeah. And then another thing that we mentioned, another winner, PGA Tour broadcast. I mean, the Saturday finish was probably the best thing they probably could have done and the smartest thing they could have done. I mean, they had no real ratings competition because the NFL was on Sunday. And the rumor is that the Saturday finish for the Farmers Insurance, at least, is going to stay beyond 2022. So we'll see more of those Saturday finishes at the Farmers, at least. And I mean, that should be a good thing. So
Nice. And then we're gonna go to a loser.
yeah. So second loser, Brooks and Bryson. Now, like, it was certainly the summer and fall of Brooks and Bryson. I mean, they won the Ryder Cup. They had the feud. They played the match. You know, they were in the media all over the place, Brooks and Bryson. But this week they both missed the cut. So, I mean, Bryson's been dealing with the back and wrist injuries this season, which is kind of, we talked about it on other podcasts. It kind of led to the question: does he overtrain? Is he trying too hard with the driver? And then like there's some weeks where Brooks looks like he's the best player in the world, and then other weeks he looks like he's just showing up to collect a paycheck. So, not a good week for Brooks and Bryson.
No, definitely not. And then another one, our last winner, Victor Hovland's trophy cabinet. And am I wrong in saying that I honestly lose track because we've amended the curse so many times? Has he won in the US yet?
No.
No, he hasn't.
He's won the
Which is so
Mayakoba
weird.
twice. He's won,
Hero.
I think, 3 times in the European Tour and the Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not, yeah. So no, he has not won in the United States. But he
but
does
he won
have
the
6.
Dubai Desert
Yeah, he
Classic.
did just pick up his 6th win at the Dubai Desert Classic. I mean, we tease him for the Puerto Rico curse, but he's a stud. I mean, he's gonna keep winning too.
He's third in the world.
Yeah,
Like that's crazy, and he's never won the US.
He will.
He will. No,
He'll probably win a major this year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like,
I would not be surprised.
what would you give me odds at, right? What would you be comfortable in giving me?
One major this year?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's going to win at Augusta. I don't.
He was low am there.
He was? Okay. Well,
When Tiger won.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but I just don't think he's going to win at Augusta.
plus
I don't think that'll be his first major to win.
yeah, he's 22-1 to win at Augusta right now.
To win at Augusta?
Yeah.
Kind of love either him or Morikawa.
At the PGA, he's
Morikawa
also
is-
22-1. So he's 22-1 to win pretty much all the majors.
I think he could win. I don't know Southern Hills really at all, but I think he could win at there, I guess.
I mean,
That seems like a
he
place.
dominates on the European Tour too. Like he
Could
could
win the
win
Open.
the Open. Like,
He's plus 550 to win a major in 2022, according to DraftKings Sports.
that's not very high.
Well, there's guys like John Rahm's plus 185, Koepka, Bryson are plus 400. Jordan Spieth is plus 380 compared to Victor Hovland being plus 550. I think that's ridiculous to me. But even though Jordan Spieth is,
It's because he's so good at
yeah,
Augusta.
and Augusta, yeah. No, I'm not. And Xander's plus 400. Tiger's
So
plus
Victor-
900.
Going back to the Southern Hills, Victor could be comfortable in the great state of Oklahoma.
That's true.
No, I mean he
That's a
has
good
6 wins now.
Also,
with
Rory's
his-
winning the Masters. So what are we saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rory
you're
is
right.
winning
Yeah,
the
he has
Masters.
no chance.
I thought about
Hovland has no
this
chance.
about like the major thing, and I'm like, maybe for the Masters, I might just put 5 units on Rory to win the Masters, and then just do nothing else.
That's it's gonna you'll
lock,
win
though.
however many. Yeah, you'll win however many units you won't get back from that because he's gonna win.
Yeah, so that's his 6th win from last week. I mean, that's the
He's
same as
third.
Colin Morikawa right now, 6 wins. I mean, obviously Morikawa's won the 2 majors and a couple of WGCs,
Yeah.
but still that's 6 wins for Victor Hovland this early in his career.
He's third in the world, and that's the highest ranking ever for an Oklahoma State player, which is crazy considering Ricky Fowler was very, very good for a long, long time. Not for a long, long time, but for a good chunk of time.
Yeah. All right. On that note, let's get into skins, but first a word from Roback.
So you probably noticed us wearing some new Roback merch over the past few episodes. We're partnering with Roback, and we couldn't be more excited. So head to the link in our bio, add the Roback merch you want, and you'll get 15% off just by using the link. So enjoy and crave activity.
Skins. So this week we have the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Now it's another one of those 3 golf course tournaments. So obviously you have Pebble Beach, you have Spyglass, and you have Monterey Peninsula Country Club. Obviously there's the amateurs this week. I didn't really look to see what the list was, but I heard that Josh Allen's playing this week.
Skipping the Pro Bowl.
I'm sure the usual suspects will be playing as the amateurs. That's not really the part that I'm interested in, though, even though I know some people are. All golfers are going to play 3 rounds before the cut. The final round will be at Pebble Beach, and the course difficulty kind of depends on the wind and the weather. Spyglass Hill, pretty similar to Pebble, just some more trees. And then Monterey Peninsula is probably the easiest of the 3 with the large fairways that are pretty hard to miss. And the rough is like almost non-existent this week because of the amateurs. So, just some previous winners: Daniel Berger, Nick Taylor, Phil Mickelson, Ted Potter, Jordan Spieth. And just like the important stats, I would say strokes gain approach, since all the greens are pretty small, and then proximity 100 to 125 yards.
Putting's big this week too, at Pebble at least.
Kind of leads into your short game needs to be pretty good. So
putting and iron play is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
From my research at Pebble, and then some of the other ones are a little bit more sporadic because they're not,
they're not.
I wouldn't say they're not like
they're
PGA
not
Tour.
even. Yeah, they're not even like. They're kind of like Torrey Pines North. Like they're not like.
Yeah,
they're
it's kind of like that.
a supplemental course.
No disrespect. I would love to play Spyglass. I would love to play Monterey. It's would be on the bucket list probably, but yeah. Anyway, I don't have the honors. I lost all five units this past week, so I am still in the lead. I have 7.99. Geek has 7.41, but I believe Geek has the honors.
Yeah, so just recapping last week for me, the bets that I did win: Daniel Berger top 20, he did finish T20. Sanjay M top Asian, he finished I think 1 stroke ahead of Siwoo Kim. And then tournament 3 ball, I had a Leishman over Scheffler and Finau. Leishman finished 1 stroke ahead of Scheffler. So it could have gone the other way for me as well, but it didn't. I had the luck last week. Although Maverick McNeely did hit a hole in one, and that did ruin that bet. I was kind of mad about that, but I couldn't be too mad at Maverick McNeely because he did come in the clutch a couple weeks ago for me. So it is what it is. But yeah,
good week.
Yeah, I any week in the green is a good week, I would say. So now this week, I actually either really love my picks or I think they're gonna go 0-5. I don't think there's any in between here. So my first pick, I'm actually gonna pick Patrick Cantlay to win. It's only plus 650, and I'm gonna put 1 unit on it. Usually putting 1 unit on a winner, not a great idea. But 1 unit to win 6.5. I'll gladly take the L if he loses this week. I just feel like it's worth the risk. I think he's the best player in the field, and just the way he's been playing, and just some course history. I don't know why. I just think he's gonna win. Not a hot take, but felt like I had to do it. And then I'm also gonna take Maverick McNeely top 20 plus 120. I'm gonna put 1.5 to win 1.8. I really like the way he's been playing this year. He's been really good to start the season, kind of on a good run. Again, just kind of a hunch. I think he's going to play really well at this golf course. I think it fits his game pretty well. And then speaking of guys who play well at this golf course, Jason Day, top 20. He's plus 100. So I'm going to go 1.5 to win 1.5 on that. Just looking through his stats at this golf course, it's actually ridiculous. He's hasn't finished worse than T11 since the 2013-14 season. And he's played every year since then. So that's 7 straight years he's finished T11 or better. And he's coming off of a good week last week. So I don't know. I just really like that. I think that he's gonna play well. And then I also have Minwoo Lee top 10 plus 400. I have half a unit to win 2 on that. He's one of those guys that I feel like is going to break out at some point. He's been really good on the European tour. We've talked about him on some other podcasts. Maybe this is a Minwoo Lee coming out party. And then my last pick, I'm going to have Aaron Rai, top European plus 900, half unit to win 4.5. Aaron Rai, no swag, 2 gloves, iron covers.
Disgusting.
No,
He's a loser
very
this week,
gross.
too. He's a loser this week too.
I guess, but you know what? He had a good week last week. He always plays pretty well when he plays in the US, which is random, but yeah, I just kind of have the hunch top European. There's not a lot of Europeans in the field this week. Like there's no John Rahm or anything like that. So like there's only a couple guys ahead of him, I think, for top European. I think it's like Seamus Power, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and maybe one other. So figured I'd take the value of Aaron Rai, top European, half unit.
I think I'm next, right? Because I 0.2 units won last week.
Big winner last week.
It's my first winning week this year, so I'll take it. But I had John Rahm top 5, which was looking kind of shaky at one point. Plus 160, 2 units to win 3.2, and I won 0.2 units after all my other bets lost. I have a kind of a wild betting slip. I have Maverick McNeely top 20, 1 unit to win 1.2 units. I have Jason Day top 20, 1 unit to win 1 unit for the same reasons Jeek said. I would love Jason Day to finish better than top 20. It's also Kevin Streelman week. So I have 1.5 units to win for top 20 plus 180 to win 2.7 units.
Okay.
Kevin Streelman always plays sick here. I think we found that out last year, and he's just a course horse. Michael Thompson to win plus 6,500. What?
Is he this your guy? Like if
he might be. He's
been good to
nice.
start the season.
Yeah,
I mean,
the one time I picked him, he like shot like 8 over par on the first day, and then last week he comes out and is like leading after round 1. He's playing well this year, and he's a kind of plays well in West Coast tournaments. That's 0.25 units to win 16.25 units. Russell Knox to win plus 8,000, 0.25 units to win 20 units. He's played well at Pebble before, has a couple top 10, top 15 finishes, and he has a couple top 10 finishes this year. And then Grayson Sigg to win his group of Denny McCarthy, Aaron Rai, Ches Reavie, and Taylor Moore. I don't know who that is. Plus 350, 0.5 units to win 1.75 units, and Maverick McNeely to win 0.5 units to win 11 units at plus 2,200.
You like Grayson Sigg for the same reason I like Grayson Sigg, just because he was like in the GM golf video.
Yeah, I recognize that name from that's like one of the few GM golf videos I've actually watched, and then I saw like I keep like I'm doing my research, and apparently he's played like he's played good at West Coast swings. He's played decent this year, and
Okay, yeah, no, he has played very well this year.
I saw the Taylor Moore. I'm like, who the hell is that? And all he has to do is beat a guy with 2 gloves and a couple other guys. So
I think Ches Reavie in that group.
Ches,
Yeah,
two glove Aaron's
Ches,
coming.
If Ches ruins that bet, that's okay. It's only
I was gonna say he might.
He might.
It just seems like something he'd do in this course.
He would 100% do that. Our guy.
I have an interesting slip. It starts with Matthew Fitzpatrick, 2,800.
I like that.
0.5 units.
I didn't realize he was that low.
Yeah. So my reasoning for that: good putter, good approach player. Just seems like a course, like with the wind and everything, or courses, I guess, where he could make some noise. Mito Pereira outright as well.
I like him. I just couldn't find a spot for him in my
40 to
my
1.
sleep.
0.5 units on that. I like him as well. He's decent putter, really good ball striker. I think he's 4th in strokes gain approach this year. Could be something for him. I also have him top 20, 0.5 units to win 0.9 units. I have Jordan Spieth 0.25 units at 1,600 to win.
Like
Win
it.
4 units. Just a little sprinkle. Just I feel like I had to have him in there because I like him, and he's also just like sick here. Going off what Jeek said, I also we think similarly. I also saw Min Woo Lee, and I was licking my chops at that top 40 minus 125, 2 units to win 1.6 units. And then I have Denny McCarthy. Sorry, Trev. Top 40 minus 125 as well, 1.25 to win 1 unit. He's a really good putter, and he is coming off a T6 at the American.
He is a really good
Express.
putter.
So I'm liking that as well, because the American Express was kind of a putting contest. Not that this is a putting contest by any means, but it's somewhere where they have like this like really small greens, and if he can find a way to ball strike like he did at the American Express, he's gonna find the putter.
Like it.
I mean, the odds are a little bit. I mean, Kevin Streelman's plus 4,000. I feel like I haven't seen his name in a while, but I mean, it's just like there's some weird. It's not a good field, really. Jason Day's plus 1,800.
I kind of like it though. I'm seeing the board.
I don't mind it.
Pretty well in terms of a winner. I feel like
that's
Cameron
why I
Tringale.
picked Cantlay, because I just like I looked at the field and I'm like, this field's not great. Like,
fair enough.
I can definitely see Cantlay winning, and Cameron Tringale plus 2,500. Like he's actually I think a decent bet to play well this week, but
top 5.
I swear
that's where he always finishes.
I swear I watched his swing. Like every time he was on the TV, he was hitting some like stupid, like his shots were so bad, and I could not believe that his swing was that on the PGA Tour.
He's a bad TV golfer. It's not good optics watching.
He also
looks
like the guy from Succession. I've only watched a couple episodes.
Which one?
The guy who was supposed to get it at the beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He looks like him.
He kind of does look like him. Yeah, I see that.
That's just I've only seen a few episodes of that, so that's my comparison. But
okay, I see it.
But yeah, I mean, Maverick McNeely is plus 2,500 or 2,200.
Yeah, we all like him.
We do. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I will say, you're looking at the field and you kind of do see it pretty clearly this week. Now I'm sure somebody random will win, but and just like going back to Aaron Rye for a second.
Love the Min Woo Lee bet so much.
Going back to Aaron Rye for a second, I feel like he's such a pro-am. Like I feel like if I were to get paired up with somebody in a pro-am, it would be him for some reason, or like somebody of his caliber.
You don't think Bill Murray's going to get paired up with him and just make fun of him the entire round for wearing 2 gloves?
Doesn't Bill Murray wear 2 gloves?
He might actually.
Okay, so let's get in the clubhouse to end the week. We went to the PGA show. I mean, it was interesting. It was nice to be in Florida, kind of, I guess, because
for the last day,
it wasn't like warm.
It was so bad,
rainy. So let's start it off with me and Trevor get in late Monday night, sleep for like 3.5, 4 hours,
maybe less than that.
Wake up, and check the weather because we have a 7:12 tee time. So we find out in the Uber over that the sun doesn't rise until like 7:20. But somehow we kind of skirted any bad rain. It was just really drizzling the whole round.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was raining really, and then like you were saying, like we were seeing a car. It wasn't really that cold because we were so used to it being much colder.
Yeah, no. So it was fine. Both of us had our wedge games the whole entire trip. Long story short, though, we didn't really have our games.
No.
After not picking up a club for about a month. Last day I beat Trevor 8-6. So
yeah, that wasn't fun. We had to leave the course early. And as soon as Pat beats me 8-6, I go par birdie and have 3 birdie putts that almost go in. Especially in my last hole, I almost hold out from like 80 yards in the fairway. It was
Just
that far away.
not good under pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know what was going on. I switched to a Callaway ball at the end. That was it. Clearly.
Yeah, that was it.
Um,
So anyway, onto the PGA show. It was a bit underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we talked to a few people, a few brands that we might be partnering with soon, potentially. But and that was cool. But overall, it was just an underwhelming experience. Demo day was wet and rainy, which you can't do anything about.
yeah, that was unfortunate.
Really seemed like people were really all that interactive and wanted to like be there, to be honest.
Yeah,
Which was wet and
everyone.
rainy, so and cold, so fair.
It's
But-
in all of the whole show is, I mean, it's definitely geared more towards PGA professionals, especially looking for stuff for their clubhouse, or there's like technology stuff they can get to other clubs, flight scopes, stuff like that. It's really interesting. Like the space is just massive, and there's a million different companies,
so big,
brands, and
so many people there.
yeah, so many people. Took us like
The
30
Orlando
minutes.
Convention Center is one of the, you could like run the whole like illegal organized crime like section out of that, and you probably would never even know it was there. That is
You wouldn't.
that is the biggest building I think I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how big it is.
It's not a building, it's I don't even know, it's like a campus.
Yeah,
But it's all one building.
It's basically it's like you could have fit like a whole college in that whole thing. Like every single classroom you could have wanted to, you could have fit
And
in
dorm.
that building. Yeah, and dorm. But yeah, like Pat said, we talked to a few people, we talked to some companies. That was really the majority of our extent of what we could do. I saw some people I knew from Silver Spring, which was cool. Other than that, it was just basically it was for us just to go down there. I'm glad we went down and experienced it. I think next year, if we do it again, we definitely need more of a game plan, and we'll have more preparations for it, and we'll know, okay, where we're doing it this time, especially, and prepare more for the weather too, because we were staying there out in the cold for.
Well, next year it could be 75 and sunny the whole
Yeah.
time. But dude, I honestly don't even, if nothing changes from this year, I don't see myself spending the money to go down there again.
That's fair. I think if a year from now, if Pat and I hopefully have jobs, then
Yeah.
it might be a different situation too. But we'll see. We'll have to. When the time comes again. Also, I mean, we applied for credentials literally like last Friday.
Oh, so we have a funny story to come out of it.
Oh yeah, we do.
So let me tell this story. So Gene, Trevor's head pro at Silver Spring, texts him that he needs to get credentials for these 2 people, and we're kind of like, how are we supposed to do that? Like, we're not like, we don't like, it's not like we're big shots here. Like, we just like randomly applied and got a connection to get media credentials. So we go up, we ask the woman if our quote unquote company, that was the biggest sham I said all week to everybody. Yeah, we have a media company. Okay, no, we don't. But yeah, no, I said 2 people at our company need media credentials, and so we were registering them. They were going through their. She was like, okay, and what's their position? What's their title? And I'd look at Trevor. I go,
Yeah, we both look at each
Content
other.
creator?
An editor or something.
We had no idea what to say. Like,
And
like,
I'm like, let's go with content creator.
yeah. And like, what's
So-
like we're using like she's like, what's their email address? And I use Jean's email address. And then what's another person's email address? I use my email address. And like, it was just
You could have
like,
literally said anything, like, "Oh yeah, he's the
Yeah, you could-
CFO. He's the just like something random."
I mean, in all seriousness, I literally could have said, I literally could have brought my mom to this and said, like, oh, she's a content creator with us, and she could have walked around the show with us the entire week. And
No,
it
anybody
was
could have gone.
anyone could have done a credential. Which the lady, like the lady was from Norwalk, which was kind of cool. She was very
Well, yeah,
nice.
because the company that puts on the show. is-
Yeah, exactly.
Norwalk.
But no, that was very funny. And I got an email like 2 days later saying, hey, so and so, you made your first connection, because you can scan your barcode on your media pass. Like, you made your first connection. I'm like, and I've been home for like a little under like 12 hours, something like that. It's like, congrats on making your first connection. I'm like, that's great.
Well, yeah, so overall statement is that, I mean, this is what we heard from also some people that we talked to, that it's just, it was nowhere near as what it
That's
was
also
before
true.
COVID.
There's
Um,
no, I
you know,
mean, the biggest
TaylorMade,
brand,
Callaway, Ping,
yeah, it was
Cobra,
like
not there.
it was all mostly apparel. Bridgestone was there, a bunch of flight track scopes were
Simulator,
there.
yeah, stuff like that.
Kind
You
of
couldn't grab me a flight scope simulator thing,
We have
Which
one
monitor?
that we
one that
kind
like
of
actually
it does not work.
yeah, no, but it's, I mean, cool to experience once.
It was cool to see.
Maybe
experience.
I'll be going down for something else at some point.
Maybe.
But we'll see. Orlando. Basically just Disney World. We'll see you next week.
Basically.